The gal who's playing Snow White, or as I now call her, Sand Beige, the Snow White who is upending all the traditions of Snow White. She's got another viral hit.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
So she's out there protesting with SAG-AFTRA, the actors union, and she's saying, I need a better contract. Why do I need a better contract? Because I'm working this terrible, hard job and I'm not being paid enough for it. Yeah, I'm the star in the new Snow White movie. But if I've got to go out there and wear that stupid dress, I got to go wear that dress all day long. I got to be on set. And I got to dress up and play pretend. And I have to be a little girl's dream. And I need to make believe for my job. And I need to receive adulation and praise and lots of money. If I have to do that, damn it, I'm going to make even more money. Boy, my life is so hard. A person with that attitude is incapable of happiness. Neil deGrasse Tyson misinterprets the meaning of the phrase pursuit of happiness. That gal should just give it up. If that's going to be her attitude, she will never achieve happiness. Some people can be perfectly happy in even the worst of circumstances, and other people cannot be happy even in the best. Think about what she's saying. She's not saying I got to go, to the coal mines all day long. She has what is considered the most glamorous, fun, silly, light job in the world. She's not only in entertainment, she's an actress. She's not only an actress, she's a successful actress. She's not only a successful actress, she's playing a Disney princess, the most famous one of all. And she's complaining about it. We all do this from time to time. Even I do it. Where we just say, I'm just so frustrated. I'm really angry. My job is so hard. You need a gut check. You need to take that as a warning, because this woman, every time she opens her mouth, she says something more offensive than the last time. But we all fall into that sometimes. I gotta take my kids to the park today. I hate living this wonderful dream and spending time with my precious children. And I hate that. I've got to go do my job that pays me well and is generally pleasant. I like my coworkers. And man, I hate having to do that. I don't fall into that. It's very easy. People can complain about anything, especially on movie sets. That's one of the weird things about movie sets. People complain all the time. And so no surprise that SAG-AFTRA is whining about it. Do not be like that woman. Right now, text Knowles to 989898. We are days away from the Durban Accords, the greatest threat to the U.S. dollar's global dominance in the past 80 years. On August 22nd, BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are expected to announce the launch of a new international supercurrency fully backed by gold or other commodities. This is part of their long-term plan to supplant the U.S. and the dollar as cornerstones of the global financial system. You can protect your IRA or 401k from the fallout from this landmark announcement by diversifying with gold from Birch Gold. Historically, gold has been a safe haven in times of high uncertainty, which is right now. When currencies fail, gold is a safe haven. How much more time does the dollar have? Protect your savings with gold. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of happy customers. Text Knowles, K-N-W-L-E-S, to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold. If a central bank digital currency becomes a reality, it will be nice to have some gold to depend upon. Text Knowles, K-N-W-L-E-S, to 989898.
Hi, Michael. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to criticize your Coke and New Coke analogy of Trump versus DeSantis, provide a more suitable analogy, and then get your thoughts on it. Sticking with the soda analogy, I think Trump is like going through the drive-thru at McDonald's, ordering a Coke, but actually getting a Sprite. In 2016, I was very enthusiastic about his promises of building a much-needed border wall, making Mexico pay for it, and draining the swamp. Unfortunately, he failed to do all three of those things. He was only able to build part of a wall, and we paid for it. He did not drain the swamp by any means. In fact, he elevated the biggest swamp monster of them all, Dr. Fauci, into power and allowed us to stay locked down much past the 2 weeks to slow the spread. The biggest quality about Trump's presidency is his Supreme Court justices, but that wasn't really anything he personally did. Any Republican could have filled those seats. So I'm happy to get the soda at least, but I didn't get what I wanted. With DeSantis, he's actually distinguishing himself by making the promise to actually get the Coke you ordered, and the fact that he has a really good track record in Florida supports that. What do you think of this? Thanks again, and God bless.
I disagree with the analysis on the candidates somewhat. It's clear you support DeSantis. And so what happens is when one is actively supporting a candidate in a race, one looks at the rest of the field and highlights and exaggerates, perhaps even, the defects of those candidates and dismisses or minimizes the great achievements. Clearest example, I think, is, yeah, okay, he got Roe v. Wade overruled, but whatever. It's just because he picked judges. Anyone would have picked those judges. I don't think anyone would have picked those judges. I think that George W. Bush nominated Harriet Miers for the Supreme Court, okay? I think that George H.W. Bush nominated David Souter for the Supreme Court. I think even Ronald Reagan nominated Sandra Day O'Connor for the Supreme Court, who was kind of a squish and a lib. I think that Trump's picks were particularly good. They've got their own problems too, but they were particularly good, especially on this issue. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. And it's true he failed on some of his promises. Some of it he didn't quite have enough time. Some of it, he flubbed himself. Some of them I think are debatable. I mean, the way that he was rearranging trade deals with Mexico and especially with China before the COVID nonsense, I think he deserves more credit for in terms of, this country will pay us, whether it's through tariffs, whether it's through renegotiating trade deals, whether, these are fungible, complex economic questions. But all of that to say, I think my analogy still holds up regardless of whether you love Trump or hate Trump. I have made clear, I have no intention of endorsing a candidate in a primary. I like these guys. I have interacted personally with all of the top candidates in the race. I love Trump. He's the best president in my lifetime. I think Ron DeSantis is a terrific governor of Florida, and Vivek is a buddy of mine, and we go back to college together. So, and then I'm even friends with some of the other candidates in the race. And it's not that I don't have a dog in this fight. I do, in that I have preferences of this candidate or that candidate or this quality of this candidate or whatever. And I want the GOP to win. So yeah, I'm all about that. But I think I've got a little bit of a remove from the people who are actively campaigning for Trump, actively campaigning for DeSantis, or actively campaigning for someone else. The reason this holds up is everyone knows who Trump is. You say, well, I was deceived in 2016. Okay, did you vote for him in 2020? Sounds like you probably did. I don't think you voted for Biden. So you knew. You voted for him in 2020 knowing that he didn't build as much of the wall as you hoped, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do that. So we know who he is. We know, and a lot of people didn't expect him to fulfill all the promises that we got in 2016. Some people, such as myself, were shocked we got as much as we did. And yes, he pursued some other policy, like the jailbreak bill, the crime thing, let the criminals out of prison. I thought that was insane. But all in all, it was a great presidency. Even if you think all in all it wasn't a great presidency, there's no ambiguity with Trump. We know who this guy is. We've known this guy for 40 years. I think you're actually proving my analogy because you're saying you're saying old Coke is actually not that good. And new Coke actually tastes better than old Coke. Maybe it does. I don't know. So says you. I've never tasted new Coke. But maybe new Coke does taste better. That's what people said in the blind taste test. But I'm telling you, 10 out of 10 times, every single time that someone takes that blindfold off, even if the new Coke tastes better and you can make a really good, rational, logical argument for why the new Coke is better, people are going to want the OG. Which is why if DeSantis, and he's starting to do this actually, if DeSantis wants to have any shot at getting the nomination, he's got to run as something other than the new and improved Donald Trump. Because when you put that against the OG Donald Trump, warts and all, people are going to pick the original. Boy, what a great clip that was. Now make sure that you ring that bell. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.